Welcome everyone to Squad Ops, one live operation event. We're doing Operation Fishhook. My name is BCar. I'll take you through tonight. This is our session 2 runtime. Just getting underway. There are some briefings going out here for Russia on Operation Fishhook. Let's go ahead and talk about that real quick. As far as loadouts, Russia are going to have 2 ARs, 1 LAT, 1 medic, and they have a squad of 4 recruits, which is an advanced team that's on the other side of the map. They have to go rescue for this operation. They get to roll around in a BTR-80 and a couple of transport trucks. Militia are the sort of interdicting force in this operation. We've got 2 ARs, 1 LAT, 1 medic for the squad, and the platoon level, they're going to have 4 scouts. As far as vehicles, they get 2 Dishkatekis and 2 transport trucks. So the name of the game is Crossing the River. As you can see on the map here, there's only a handful of bridges Russia gets to use to actually cross. They're going to be upper and lower train bridge and the radio bridge. They can't cross any other way. Let me just double check here. Yeah, vehicles and infantry must use bridges to cross the river. Russian may only use the bridges in those 2 sectors, and militia actually can't cross west of the river until Russia crosses east. So that's a little setup mobility restriction, because it would be kind of weird if militia just booked it straight to the extract location and not even tried to stop the attack. So anyway, Russia starts at Maine, which is going to be off the left side of the map here, off to the west, the northwest actually, and this is sort of central eastern part of Gordok that we're playing around here. Those bridges are going to be the only ways that Russia gets to go across, as looks like this briefing's finished, and we might have a live call soon. They're going to have to try to rescue, where it says on bottom right on your map, Russian counter intel team. Those are the 4 recruits that are just sitting there, and they're waiting to be rescued. If they can rescue them, Russia gets to defend at the extract location, which is a nice little compound on the west side of the river. If they can't rescue the intel team, as in they get killed before they can get to them, or they die in transit to the extract location,
make sure the vehicles are prepped ready to
go. Russia has to defend Soloninki. Soloninki. It's one of those 2. On the east side of the bridge, sort of south of all the bridges, militia will have a pretty good chance to get over there and sort of set up any sort of defense really early on. They may use that. They may just rush their forces all out to that point and use that as a staging area. But Russia and militia must use these bridges. So look to see Russia gun down one of these bridges, maybe get a little bit of advanced notice as far as sending 1 recon element out, try to figure out which bridge militia are prioritizing their defense of. But I think that it's just going to be an all-out rush to get to the other side of the river intact, with enough force intact. And when I mean rush, they're not gonna like blindly go across the river. If the Dishkatekis are in a superior position, Russia may elect to fight across the river and try to neutralize those Dishka trucks. Since they have the BTR,
yeah, have all your guys,
it's, you know, pretty good. The odds are in the Russians' favor here to win this engagement against the Dishkatekis, unless the Dishkatekis take them completely by surprise. We're looking at here in my camera, we're looking at Russia Maine. We've got a squad plus loaded up in a transport truck on the right side, and we've got another squad here trying to figure out what they're going to do with their main asset for this mission, this particular BTR. And this guy is going to be providing all the fire support for them to move across the bridges. And basically, it really only has 2 jobs, right? The BTR's job is to make sure everyone crosses the bridges okay and covers them across the bridge. The second job is to destroy the Dishkatekis that are looming that are lying in wait on the east side of the river. We've got some folks coming in. Of course, V11 change. You're going to have to use crewman kits. Also, another along with the V11 changes, in your spectator cam, you can choose to enable classes to show up, or whichever kits people are using, on top of their names. So that's what I've done here. So now you can see everyone's little class when I mouse over them, or put my sort of point of view directly in the center on them. You know, it's a little finicky, but it works.
You can hear me over the local, right?
Yep, I got you.
And we might be getting a live time soon here.
Okay, that's what I...
Let's go over who's actually in charge of this operation. You're looking at him right there. That's Dorf. This is one of the earlier, this is probably only the second or third time Dorf's actually commanded. And he's loving it. From what I've talked to him, he seems to be pretty happy with at least trying his hand at command and getting himself put in these operations. Dorf's commanding Russia for this round. Russia's going to be in blue. And we've got Silas, Shughart, Lawn Darts, and Axe Gaming are going to be his SLs. And then we've got, I think actually the CIT squad, the Russian counter-intel team, have their own squad listed. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. Yep, and Triton is going to have command comms for that, along with a few other people. So the counter-intel team has their own command comm line, which helps with organizing some sort of rescue.
I don't know if we've even
On the other time, on the other side of things, militia. XBit is going to command militia this round. They're going to be in red with red outlines. You're looking at Payne 12B as squad leads, along with Stormfront,
Chug.
HML, who's a new reg as of like today,
Yeah,
and Husey.
when we pull out at approximately...
When I say a new reg, if you're not familiar with
Cut
us
southeast.
as a community, we have,
already got
there's a
my
couple
order.
tiers to
Dismount point,
subscription
the,
to membership.
square mark.
One of them is you can just sign up on squadops.gg. You do basic and you can play in events.
So is there a place where that we're going
And for those players who have distinguished themselves as
Yeah, we're gonna
reasonable
try
human
and be
beings
around
and fun
Saloniki,
people to
or
play
south of
with,
Saloniki.
Squad Ops will invite those people directly
We
to
can't- we can
join
only cross two bridges
as a regular,
by foot or
and
vehicle,
regulars
so-
get to wear the tags. So when you see an ops member wearing the
So
tag on
try
our
to get you guys
servers
to
or
the,
wearing the tag in
farm
these
at 12
operations, those are all regulars. They're at least regulars. Some of them maybe staff or admins for the pub servers.
But,
But that's what that means.
yes. But like I
And
said,
that's not
stay-
something,
go keep
that's not a
south
status
of
that just
Louisiana,
comes
and
freely.
then head west,
It
and then
comes with
that
sort of,
13
you know,
that
putting
go-
yourself out there, being
call
a
Foxtrot
reasonably
13
popular
line.
person. Well, it's not all popularity,
Sounds good.
but it can be, you know, sometimes people just, you know, get a reputation of being fun to play with or having a personality, and those things help. Also, the cornerstone of all of our sort of membership role things, you got to have an 18 plus personality and characteristics. So that's what these guys also show. We're going to move on to looking at a live time of 2 minutes from now. Shortly, we're going to see this, I wouldn't say well, they got the BTR. Of course, they're not underpowered. This is going to be a pretty confident push through with the Russian forces onto militia. And I'm going to take a look at my in-game map and see what we can see here real quick.
You better be the fucking flag.
They're going to start, looks like militia are going to start over at tunnels. There's a few tunnels over there. There's a little complex on the east side of the map over in Lima 8. That's where those guys are going to start at. Russia has a long way to go, so militia has plenty of time to maneuver and put themselves in a great spot. And it looks like the counter-intel team is going to start all the way at the bottom corner at Lima 13. They're going to be starting off the road to the east there, off the road that goes down off the map. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how fast Russia move through these bridges. And that's the first key point, because militia can definitely get over those bridges, and they have some scouts, which means mines. However, you can't exactly put a mine on a bridge and expect, a vehicle to just run right past it or right on top of it, right? You got to be a little sneakier about it than that. You got to put some mines off the bridge, on the road past the bridge. You put yourself a little ambush once they get over the bridge, maybe that stops the whole column. And of course, the column's being led properly here. We've got a BTR in front of 2 transport trucks, with the majority of the platoon riding in the 3rd transport truck. And looks like Dorf, the platoon commander, is going to ride in the 2nd one. I guess he's got a buddy with him. And I think we're going to go live here in a few seconds. Vehicles inching forward. They're revving up. Here we go. All right, Ben Evan broadcast live, and off we go.
Closer than 10 meters away from the bridge.
Copy, no mines on bridge.
We're going to follow Russia on in here. Maybe we'll get a sneak peek of some militia positions as we get closer to the bridge. But this is the main fighting force for Russia. They got to keep these guys intact until they get across the bridge. And also, they got to not freak out when it comes time to looking at the bridge. And here we go off-road. There's a wheat field. They're going to bypass here. Otherwise, it would take them quite a long time to get to sort of the area of operations where the bridges are. Let's see if we can catch up with them here. Still head pretty southeast here. Obviously, probably heading directly to the train bridge area because given militia's starting position, I think that's probably the furthest out they'll go. Some bumps. All right, and here's a little bit of deviation. The transport trucks are going to go continue into the field, and the BTR is going to head onto the train track. Train tracks obviously go to the upper part of the train bridge. We'll have a little bit more visibility. Maybe the BTR is going to redirect here to the south.
Same side, let's pull south.
Looks like
Good copy.
this indication from Russia Command suggests that they're going to use the south train bridge, the lower train bridge.
I'm certified.
Which is not bad. Let's see if we can pop over to where the bridge is. We're not that far from it. We're only about 400 meters away from it. Here is the river gorge, and it looks like there is a technical. We got Stormfront on the ground here. He may be in charge of this technical. He's got a few folks running around. Looks like one guy keeping back for security. He's keeping one in the gunner seat, and he's got a buddy team. Maybe they're pushing along. He's trying to give Stormfront's trying to give a rather optimal position, gives him plenty of cover behind that hill onto the western side of the river. He's going to spread his guys out. Looks like he's only got about a fire team's worth of folks, but he's got that Dishka, which means he could put some hurting on a transport truck. Meanwhile, Russia have dismounted.
Roger, I see contacts now. They're 120 from me.
And Dorf
moving up to the rocks.
Calls out the Dishkateki across the river. Meanwhile, the platoon
over to me right now. I've got better eyes than you would over there.
Platoon is dismounted from their transport trucks, and they're pushing towards upper train bridge, the hill right here. This is a weird little hill because of how many jagged sort of rocks there on the edge. Is going to give Russia plenty of spaces to hide. But militia have only sent this fire team equipped with their vehicle.
Axe, let me know when you're positioned.
Copy.
And now they're
Good
going to
kill,
open
good
up.
kill, good kill.
They knock down Spoogles
And
atop the
everyone's
rock.
engaged.
Alright guys, watch your
Press
spacing.
targets.
They put some more
Squad-
shots at them.
Wanderers, we
I
now.
believe that was the BTRs. I believe that was
What's
the
your guys'
BTR's
ratio?
coax there.
3-2 to move out.
And they're still painting that rock with
Make
some
sure all
more
your squads are
shells.
spread out. Yeah, everyone clump up. The suppression squads.
Here's the view from the BTR angle. Must have been a guy skylining on that rock. Spoogles must have been up there skylining, which, you know, at this distance, the vehicle's going to see.
We're smoking our entrance to the bridge.
Matter of fact, if there was someone with binocs,
Shug, I saw at least one kill. There's at least one more guy over there
they
too.
could definitely see those guys over here. Someone looks like they're flying in midair.
We gotta move fast because they probably know by now that we're coming this way.
Must be a level of LOT that's not loaded in
Copy
for me
that.
right now.
We got your
That's
Overwatch.
funny to look at. There must be a rock over there.
Can we take a lat, like one to the mouth?
Axe, maintain a fire team looking north. The opposite line.
Interesting.
Co-
He didn't load in for me. Well, too many people over. Coax from the BTR is going to add some shots.
Copy. 330 move.
Doesn't appear to be hitting anyone.
He's behind it. His rock must be glitching.
Command's forward across. We've broken north. We're trying to set up a perimeter here.
Okay, looks like they're going to get back in their technical.
Yeah,
You can
I
see the
s-
technical moving.
Overwatch, I see no contacts.
And they've called out the technical. Oh, that looks like someone
I see
barely avoids it, but they left the technical in the open. He's trying to move the technical out of the way. Looks like you may have succeeded there. These guys are pinned, but they saved their technical.
Is that a techie?
Yeah, we're engaging a techie.
Yeah, blow the techie up.
The
Blow it up.
techie is moving away, and it's now behind Depolade, and it's running away
Clear as day.
a little bit more. I don't know if you saw in my camera, but we've got a shot at some infantry moving along further southeast. Maybe an additional fire team around Soloniki, an initial militia fire team, as they withdraw that technical.
Alright, 3 and 3 when you get
It's
across,
got hit a
make sure
few
you're checking
times.
the road.
It's probably about halfway gone, as
Copy, I'll check it. 3's across.
Russia,
We're gonna in position.
unopposed, cross the bridge. They cross the lower bridge, and they throw some guys up on the hill. They got another group of guys that are going to be on the river's
Copy. I
edge.
don't see anything on the road in the immediate area of the bridge.
Roger, then start pushing
Leftovers
south
of
along the rocks.
Stormfront's team
Squad 2, you're
They're
gonna
are
be in
up
position
the
here.
road here.
God.
They may be able to
Squad one,
put
we'll
in
push
a
across the river
decent
now.
ambush, but I don't think
They are along
they
the
see.
hill next to the, looks like the gated power plant or water plant, whatever that
well,
is. next to
Axis
the
called
road.
them out,
They're along the hill side of that.
so they definitely know there's an element
This is,
operating
forward, is that
over
to
here.
my direct south.
So they've repositioned the technical behind
on
some
that.
trees,
Yes, confirmed.
anticipating
yeah, it is.
that the BTR is going to use the road here, and maybe get a few hits in the back. And yep, there's a scout here, and he's adding a mine.
2, you're gonna maintain
Ooh,
overwatch
nice
along the
shadow
bridges.
placement here for this mine.
Focus eyes north, because that's most likely where they're gonna be
Copy.
coming from at this
And it
point.
looks like they dug it down. Let's see if we can find this mine real quick.
Copy that. I got a fire team element on the
Oh
north.
my.
Roger, 4, you slowly push up. Make sure you
I
maintain
don't
eyes
see
to
it.
your east. So they could come up along the edge of the river.
Let's do one of these.
3, go ahead, push up a little further. I'm gonna try and catch up to you.
Oh, maybe they dug it up.
Have you done an explosive check?
Oh, they did a cursory one. Just keep your BTR off
Maybe
the
they
road
thought
on
twice
that south
about
side.
adding the mine over there on that side of the road, and they took it away.
The bridge itself is good.
Did you get techies out
I
to
could
the
have sworn
southeast?
that's what that scout was going to do.
Hey, firm.
This is a pretty good posture for Russia, though. They've got three groups
Dork,
of
you want us to
infantry. They got
stay
three
towards
squads of
20
infantry pushing sort of three
Yes,
directions in a
north, but
line.
you might have to go to
They
that
have
farm
a
and stand by.
sort of they have a security team behind
There's
them
contact between us.
with the BTR.
3, watch out.
The BTR is coming across now. That's a good squad's worth of folks on the west side of the river.
If you can give me a cruiser ref, man, that'd be great.
And of course, now that Russia has crossed the river, and militia have this intelligence now, militia can now elect to cross the river west. And this could allow militia a lot more maneuverability.
Command's forward, moving up.
Maybe to try to throw a transport truck with the guys and try to get behind Russia as they move southeast towards the counter-intel team's position.
I'm gonna put my BTR in behind 4.
Got it.
Roger.
No real, there's only been one KIA that I remember, and that was Spoogles early on in this round. No real extended contact.
Kill him out.
A little bit more so you can have better depression.
Russia have pretty much gone off road
Yeah,
here,
that's good.
and I think Stormfront and the rest of his squad has retreated. That Dishkateki has left the area, but there is someone left over here. Let's see who this is.
Alright, 4, we have
Stormfront
Overwatch
himself
to your hills
is
to the east.
hiding behind some rocks, probably about 100, 150 meters away from a, well, more like 200 meters away from a U.S. position, or a Rus position, and he's going to run out in the open here. He's got to be careful. I think he sees...
Alright, Silas, I don't see anything yet. So
I think he
slowly
sees the
move in, occupy Saloniki,
BTR,
send a fire
maybe?
team down to greet the counter-intel team.
Good count.
I think he may have spotted the BTR.
Reports of contact
What he
to
doesn't
our
know,
east.
there's
Our men is in the rocks.
15 people to his
Affirm,
west.
focus your guys that way. Squad 1, your dismounts, have them take up the position looking south. So 4, shift your guys east as you need to. Squad 1, shift your guys looking south.
And the Russian forces are going to do a little posture change here.
Once we get to this farmhouse and just wait.
Affirm.
I've got a fire team en route to you.
Meanwhile, the militia forces have been chasing the hostages. The hostages have been running. The militia forces have, or the hostages, or not the hostages, the CIT team, the Russian counter-intel team, have evaded their
Squad 2,
militia
this command.
attackers, but not for long here. If they hold up in this farmhouse for too much longer, they're going to have a squad full of,
Make sure you're
they're going to have a
having
squad
heavy
full
eyes
of folks on them.
that, rail bridge.
Maybe a fire team from this
Copy that.
squad
I don't
will
want them.
actually
Be
push
advised,
through.
We have Techie. Techie just crossed the northern bridge.
And that wounded key,
The bridge next to Neva Lower, they just crossed it.
Axe just reported the radio, they crossed a radio bridge. And oh no,
Just keep,
Jack is
monitoring the
running,
situation.
and Jack is
They
going
might
to be
try to make a
running
play for
in
that
front
northern
of
hilltop that you guys are on.
a Russia squad here. This squad is now holding
If they
position.
do, we
Other
have
side of the rocks.
Overwatch on that area.
Militia still pushing down from south from the north.
But like 3 of them I've been talking to consistently, and the one has already sent me your tits, and they are.
Okay, we're gonna dump out of that in conversation.
What do you got?
Standard Russian, trash talk there. Some locker humor, which it's what else do soldiers do? Triton is not looking the right way, and neither is Assault and James Range. James Range coming this direction. Maybe Triton sees it now. Nope.
4, do you have any further
Triton,
contact?
yep, maybe he does see. Yep, he sees Evan
Yeah, I'm just
and
running,
Assault
reports
as
of
quirkly
dropped,
engaged
one squad
cousin
leader,
Cletus,
directly east.
and there's a
They're
fire
each one.
team pushing real hard.
South. In between me and Jack.
This fire team,
They spotted us.
the old man. Jack
break
is
free and
dead.
him die. Just keep pushing north.
Quirkley is 10
Try and just
meters
let him-
away from hostiles, and he has decided to do the worm here, and he's jumping. I don't know why, but he was jumping while he was prone. I don't think that's possible, actually. DC Universe and Evan going to drop quickly.
Scout that we killed. Just the one scout so far that we've seen.
Triton, exfil north if you can. I got a fire team covering you.
I think we're down to Triton here.
At least our team to my direct south.
Triton is the
Just
last.
ignore contact, break north. Tell
I
Kenneth to
believe.
push to me. He's gonna stick to me.
Oh, maybe Kenneth has also survived too. Kenneth just books it out of the air, runs away. Assault is prone, and all the other mill units are sort of maneuvering around.
Wake up the Silas.
Most of them are still on the east side of the river. That south element looks...
Okay, let's go.
I don't know what that element's doing down there. But Triton hooks up with Terrapin Dude, Matt Bob, and they're going to book it back. Russia have rescued multiple members of the CIT team. Kenneth was the second member
Alright, we
they
have
rescued.
an enemy squad to the south of Saloniki.
And it looks like Russia
Squad one, try
are
and get eyes on that contact
retreating.
if you can.
Dolph, that you, Dolph?
Copy. We may have to displace from where we're scanning right.
Yeah, Russia are retreating now. Or at least going in the reverse direction. And, of course, the Russians still have this
Command, this is for we're
roving
moving south
patrol
to try and get in
force.
position to flank that contact.
One of them's gotten hit up here.
Stand by, just hold position.
Roger.
All we need to do is now is exfil.
You
Meanwhile,
want me to get closer to 7th
looking
so I can
where
come
the
up in BTR?
technicals are,
Negative, they're just gonna follow with me.
technicals have moved towards
keep you
the
covered
Russian
here.
extract
Stand
location.
here for a minute. Wait for that contact to push closer.
The
push to
as
us.
you can see on my map, the
And then,
contact
if
extract
they do, we'll
locations
wipe them out.
actually
If they don't,
marked.
then we'll just
Actually,
exfil.
it's where I'm at right now. This compound right here, the two, looks like 3 structures here on top of the hill. One of them is, or 2 of them are, ruined wall structures, some HESCO walls laying about, and there's this pillbox right here. Or I guess you call it a reinforced pillbox. Yeah. This is the
Triton,
Russian
stick
extract
tight to me.
compound. So all the forces are going to eventually come back over here. But
Do we have any further contact with that?
militia have
Dish
placed,
to the
looks
north?
like a fire team's worth of
Negative.
infantry and both of their
Crossed the
technicals
bridge and I lost it.
hiding over
Recon
here
teams
to
are
the
covered in,
northwest, to the
trees ready to
northwest
bound
of
back.
that compound.
Roger. Squad
Oh,
3,
no.
keep maintaining eyes south. Squad 4, bound back across the
Yep.
bridge.
This-
Solid copy.
the whole squad is
Squad 4,
here.
you're pretty much gonna go to where Squad 2 is. Squad 2, shift your entire
They're going to move
squad
one
up to
around.
the northern ridge. Most of your elements.
So they're going to leave one technical there. Maybe
Squad
that
2,
was
you're
the
pushing
technical
up to
that
the
was
ridge line
damaged.
overlooking Neva Lower.
Of course, they had a second one. The second technical is going to maneuver
So where you're
a little bit
where
to the
CPS and
north
KUA
of
are,
these
that's where the rest of your
compounds.
squad's
They're going to
gonna
get out in the field here.
Copy that.
Let's
Squad 4, you're gonna
rejoin.
take a position on Squad 2's current position.
Let's get a
in
reset
Gulf
of
9.
what's happened here.
Solid
Russia
copy.
have
We're
accomplished their
moving across the
mission
bridge as soon
in
as
one
there's
part so
them,
far.
that's it.
They've got 2. They've rescued 2 of the
what's the
counterintel
contact in
team,
southwest?
sort of
One last
stranded
circle once the
units
bridge is clear.
out of the
So
4
Squad
that
3,
were there.
engaging south. Squad 3 spread out and do
And
his fighting
now
with fallback.
are extracting
Squad 1
to
100
the
guys, get ready
predetermined
to head
compound.
across the bridge as
I'm
well.
assuming they're going to wait for an air extract.
Copy.
Some helicopters coming in and extracting the counter intel team along with, the wounded and probably the command. And everyone else is just going to have to sit in the back of the vehicles and exfil over the border. Speculation. But that's what happens. These are the two surviving members of the counter-intel team, Kenneth and Triton, along with platoon command Dwarf.
Understood.
These guys have to make it to the compound. Once these guys make it to the compound, they got to hold the compound. They're going to hold it for the rest of the round because militia are going to organize and attack that position. Now, there is some fire going on here to the south. It looks like the BTR spotted some militia units.
Alright, Silas, go ahead.
These militia units were creeping over.
We're hitting targets down in H12, east right now.
Yeah, the militia units were creeping over.
Halfway across the
Roger.
Scared him.
That's 2 full squads across there now.
Hey Joe, you might not understand on that.
What?
Climbing on vehicles seems like a smart thing to do. Lol.
Can't believe we haven't seen techies for a while.
And
We're here somewhere.
as you can see by that bunched up group of folks right there in the red outlines,
Alright, we're ready to mount up and move whenever you want.
militia is gonna rapidly redeploy here.
Roger, 1.
They got a transport transport truck.
Myself and 3 will move across
They're
the
gonna
bridge.
move a squad's worth, looks like, right now. Let's see if we can find any more elements.
Oh, we're so good.
That's it. Looks like they have a squad's worth of folks.
We packing up or no?
Silas,
Get
when you
my
cross the bridge,
shapes off here.
go,
We got a squad's worth of
to the
folks
Russian Gulf A2.
across this
You're gonna pretty much head
wooded
through Upper Neva.
gulf here, and I guess this is probably about 200 meters,
Squad 3, you're gonna push
maybe
through
3,
Neva when you cross the
250.
bridge.
We'll call it 250.
Great cap.
Away from this BTR right now.
I'm really not liking the southeast right now.
The technical, by the way, has hit the highway and it's gone.
We're gonna get out of here quick.
It rolling so fast. Meanwhile, these Russian forces are crawling around. Looks like they're pretty much grouped into buddies, which is one of the things we teach in our basic. It's one of the organizational units found in squad ops operations. You got the squad, you got the platoon, you got the squad, and running those people are squad leaders. And then you got fire teams, and one of those things are fire team leaders. And then you have buddy teams, which are subdivisions of the fire team. And we encourage that organization because it allows for fire teams
myself and you
to have a little bit more flexibility with their tactics.
Myself and you will push west. Keep pushing west.
The last of the Russian infantry are now crossing the bridge back to the west.
Be advised, update, no contacts, no visual or anything.
Command comms still rather chatty as Russia redeploys, tries to fall back towards their extract location. The security squad here is now beginning to fall away. And I believe Axe was in charge of this security squad.
What's the update on that discotheque?
And the BTR is now coming across the river again. It's coming up the hill.
Be advised, I hear a discotheque northwest.
And this discotheque, the discotheques are maneuvering.
0.
And it looks like the discotheques infantry are on the Russian extract position.
Yeah, 4 is 6 of 9 still.
Disregard techie call out.
And Axe thinking, we heard over command comms right there saying disregard techie call out. Sad to say, he is correct, and he will be second guessing himself for days to come if he watches this commentary afterwards. Or the minute someone tells him, oh, those technicals, you were right about that, and he'll be kicking himself for that. But it's not like Russia has a lot in their way. Those 2 technicals, along with this handful of infantry, There's not even a handful. There's a couple of infantry
Be advised, we're gonna rally
here in
green
these
mission.
bombed out compounds. The only guys that are defending this for Mill and the BTR
What's the
throwing some rounds up. This particular, I guess this guy is a militia scout.
Alright, squad 4.
He's got the tracksuit on. I'm pretty sure he's militia scout.
Squad 1, Squad 4, we are going to
Did
hit
not
bunker from
see
the west. Squad 3,
the
hit from the
BTR
south.
roll into
Squad 2,
the
support
field
3.
here and talk to me.
Remember, we have contacts to
And
our rear, so we need to do
not
this
talk to me, but tell me if you didn't see that guy coming from a mile away.
Alright, so 4's moving out to the west.
Confirm.
The technicals are still maneuvering, maybe
One,
getting
have
a
your
little
BTR
bit closer
keep that
here,
contact pin down.
and one of them is going to move into the wheat field
On it.
to the north of the extract compound. Let's get a little reset on where our forces are right now. Russia's entire force, west side of the river, they're within 500 meters of the compound. Some of them maybe a little bit further. And looks like the transport back here. The transport drop off some troops? No. This is not a full... This was the other technical that was abandoned. So these are the two technicals that were sent over here originally. Maybe they're going to try to do some hit and run here. Yeah, this is a full squad for Mill, so they're going to ditch the technicals. Maybe they're just going to try to sneak in on the compound while Russia are doing the full-out sprint to get there. Russia, however, they got their eyes on the prize. Where is the rest of militia? There's a transport truck in I-12 right now.
2 and 3, are your eyes?
Limited due to the sun, but we didn't see any contacts in the lower portion.
So is that where the rest of the...
Roger.
Not everyone can fit in that one transport. Okay. We still got folks that are not being transported by the transport truck.
Northern bunker's all open.
Still on the east side of the river on foot, east of Soloniki. And the Russians have...
Hey, if you guys want me to suppress it, I'll do it.
Have arrived to find their...
Squad 1, move your BTR into a position to support the western side.
Compound empty. However, that BTR did try to snipe someone with the coax cannon, and maybe they're going to be a little bit careful as they come in.
While you get closer.
Obviously, if you know an enemy's been somewhere, it's not hard to realize. Not hard to realize, you know. Maybe there's more of them. Maybe they ran away.
Three's got a fire team helping. Three's got a fire team helping clear. The rest of us are watching the southeast approach.
Good copy, 3.
Alright.
Looks like Axe and a fire team from another squad are helping to clear out this compound. The compounds don't have sub levels, but they do have this this guy in the middle where there's only one door in and out. So a last stand can be made here. Plus you've got a little bit of cover from the roof.
Well, you guys don't worry. Northeast where they're clearing those compounds.
Can you repeat that?
Some shots.
Who's shooting?
You're coming to contact the wheat field.
Hey, Fred.
What?
Command, can you repeat the extract coordinates?
It's the bunker. The bunker
Where are
itself,
they?
block front 7.
So militia have maybe
Squad 1, I have no idea.
taken some shots out here.
Yeah, command, this is one of my guys called out contact to the east. He shot at it. That's all I can get out of him.
All right, so a false call contact
have
there.
a couple guys scavenge that field, scour that
But
field.
it doesn't really give
sure
militia
there's nothing
any
there.
information because the fact that the only folks they have around are, you know, 300-400 meters off, 300 meters off. They're not going to have, you're not going to be able to get that much information off of a distant call, aside from surely they hear the BTR rolling around with that group, and they heard how fast the BTR came to that group's rescue under perceived, you know, danger.
Use your sandbags to build up
It could be bad.
defenses within the bunkers themselves.
I don't think I saw an enemy the entire round.
The BTR is probably thinking, "Oh my God, shots! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!" And it just rolls up there. And of course, the militia do have a lap per squad. Now, the other thing I haven't checked for is no, there is an IED in this compound.
Yeah, everyone.
There is an IED. Now, IEDs, per the rules, they can't be dug down. And, you know, it would be pretty bad if Command and one of the people...
I'll get some guys.
Why haven't they blown the IED yet? It would have taken... At this point, the IED, let's see. It's right here. It's somewhere in this corner.
Hey, Axe, give me all your riflemen so I can get tags in this very middle.
So that's platoon command. That's
Portion.
one of the high value targets.
Triton, you can direct them as you need to.
And another squad leader. Oh man, if they pop both of them right now,
Tasked with the south to
if they pop the
southwest.
IED right now and kill both of the high value targets, what does that mean?
Squad
Because they've already been here, but if
west
the,
to northeast.
I guess
Squad
that
two,
means
the HVTs themselves.
maybe Russia have to assault Soloniki.
Squad 1, you're tasked with the south to southwest. You're also going to be our
The IED still hasn't been found here yet. Yep, it's still in the middle of this compound. They still haven't found it yet.
My riflemen here.
Roger.
The IED could do some serious damage right now.
Could we get like at least one, like maybe in this corner?
Are y'all the only
Oh,
two left?
they're putting down sandbags.
Yeah, they're the only two.
As well.
Oh shit, I have a sandbag. Never mind. Yeah.
They're putting down sandbags now.
Well,
There
yeah,
is so many people right here. Where is that IED?
Why
Why is the IED been set off yet?
Looking out this broken wall.
What is militia doing?
Like right here?
Check the exterior wall.
Like right here.
Militia could upset the balance of this defense.
Do you want me to connect this?
Because they haven't found the IED. The IED is still
FYI,
there.
for you new people,
Now they're adding
cannot be built
sandbags.
in a way that they're blocking doors or entrances.
Because obviously riflemen can carry sandbags. That might help.
Where's the other sandbag at?
Right here.
Oh, that sandbag might actually save them. If the IED is in this, let's see if I can find it real quick. Let's do one of these.
Yeah.
It's a grenade
We need a
basket.
roof on
literally.
this thing.
Oh, yep, there it is.
Yeah,
So that IED obviously will go through wall.
Can't take in cover on this wall.
Oh, you can
Okay,
put it
we
on
got
the wall,
contact.
yeah.
Contact north.
Maybe that's why we haven't seen the IED go off. It might be considered illegal.
He put it back up 'cause it's
Right
not
here.
Obviously, we have some rules
here. It's not letting us do.
in the world of squad ops.
Was that an
You know, anarchy is not allowed here. There's a structure, and to keep some things fair, in an alpha game, you gotta have some rules for implementation. And, I don't know, maybe an admin has already seen that already. We're gonna take a look at, these guys are just chilling. Nuclear Potato
Max, you have that bunker, that small
has got
bunker
himself
near me,
deployed
so
in this direction.
occupied if you need to.
tell. It may be something rendering, but
Copy.
it's way out there. I can't tell.
These guys are just still chilling here.
Who shot?
Command is full. Contact 300, about 300 meters.
I think Londart's just called out.
Alright, can you get AR set up on that? He's bearing 285 top of the hill.
Oh yeah, lawn
that's
dart
gonna be
spots
north.
these guys sitting on top of the
Copy, I'm
hill
gonna start sweeping.
like a bunch of lazy people soaking in the sun on a square dog afternoon.
Well, look at the map.
Oh, I see him.
Dwarf season now too.
Yeah, well, there's like a fire team or more.
Looks like G. Adams is going to try to position himself on the side of the
They're at
wall
approximately
here.
Echo
Might have to take this little
624.
corner.
There's a grid call out, which would be useful if they had, you know, mortars. However, they do have this thing called a BTR. And Shokart is on foot, walking his BTR in.
Pop over me.
Here comes the AR.
What? Squad 1,
Straight 300, look 300.
Disregard.
That's northwest.
Hey, forward.
Northwest.
Push it.
Good.
I think the BTR is going to add some fire here. Let's see if it sees anything. Oh!
Squad 4 got deleted.
Oof.
We lost Londars with that.
Yeah, he got deleted.
Looks like, oh, that's
Y'all didn't do a good job checking for IEDs in here.
1 KIA here from the IED. Maybe more? What about the second one?
296.
I wonder where that IED was. I didn't realize there was one over here. It maybe must have been placed on the outside wall.
One, I can't see if that's your guys on the top of the hill or not, but
They're not friendly.
Still engaging the targets here at long
this is
range. They're shooting at over 300 meters.
My guys in the south just took contact from the far southeast. Right.
And the militia are now attacking from the southeast. They finally moved across the river. Let's take a break. Yep. Looks like 2.5 squads worth coming over both the bridges, both radio and the train bridges. This is just a long-range, cross your fingers affair.
How many would you say?
Let's check in and see here.
Unknown.
Yeah, the entire
has been spotted so far.
the entirety of militia on foot here, pushing across the lower train bridge.
Squad 4, go ahead.
There's an AR or something.
Squad leads down.
Someone with
we're
a
on squad 4 now.
Stay where we're at.
someone with a tracer shooting out. And there was a squad that pushed from the radio bridge. It's about time. It's taken them quite a bit. Oh! A rocket overshot the rocks. These guys are... They know they've been spotted. Yep, and those are the guys that have done it. And I'm sure these guys are obviously skylining to them. But I'm sure vice versa is actually... Oh, look. He's getting shot at. And he stand up. And, yep. They got about, looks like, 10 meters of elevation. Oh, man. That one AR gunner has got their heads pinned down.
They keep popping their head around that hill.
I think they've seen this RPG gunner guy move around a couple times. Yeah, this is E-Fang. He's crawling. He's looking for a shot onto this AR.
It'll keep them distant.
Ain't gonna happen. This militia platoon adding our squad adding a little bit more fire as they see some folks run away. Ooh. Oh, and the AR brings fire. traded here. Now it looks like some accurate fire to get that AR to displace over there. So this militia group is now moving in. Meanwhile, the radio bridge group is getting joined in by one of the groups that came over the lower train bridge. Grenade range. They've thrown one. Ooh. And another the Russians that sort of jumps here.
We're engaging contacts in the squad size element, maybe
One Russian seems to be crawling away from this particular engagement here.
Don't get too anxious.
Fulcrum leading this group on the rocks here. This Russian group was out of position, didn't even realize what was going on. They got slapped in the side of the shoulder pretty hard. They got jolted really rough by the group that came across the radio bridge. Icon panicking. He's throwing a smoke. He's not going to live much longer because this fire team is pushing over the ridge. And let's see here. He's got the right zig. Now let's see if he can zag when this guy comes over the rock. Icon still running. And he's going to find himself some more cover here in these buildings. That might save him for a little bit. He's still running. So it looks like he'll survive here. Straight into the arms of a friendly AR. As the Russian or the militia now pushing up onto these rocks.
If they come to you, then
Here
kill
comes some more long range shooting.
bypass and flank 'em.
This is probably about a distance of 150, maybe 2.
Yes.
Oh! One of them was bandaging over there. Maybe he fell down. No, he's still up, I think. I think one of the AR guns is down now. These Russians are trying to take this fight. These militia folks are in a pretty good position right here on top of these rocks.
Negative, that's enemy smoke.
Another militia squad continues to push north, or they're pushing west of train bridge, or the radio bridge. There's still a pretty healthy amount of militia still up.
We're engaging the techies now. We have them.
And looks like BTR has just made the call out. We have found the technicals.
One techie down.
One of them's been popped.
Good shit.
They were trying to come up on here in the wheat field. Or maybe one of them was trying to flank all the way around. This is the last technical remaining here in the wheat field. North of the wheat field. North of everything. Oh boy. Technicals now engaging. Within about 200-250 meters and it's going to run.
It's all copy. Hey.
He's going to try to shoot on the move. Maybe not.
There's techies up here to the north. All squads are free to engage any contact you see.
BTR is now within about 300 meters, 400 meters of the techie. He's going to pick up some folks. They're going to try to hop out of here.
Yep, roger.
And this technical...
Yeah, I got enemy techie to the north.
Yeah, they're tracking this guy with a sound. It's not like he's quiet. Technical's booking it out to the northwest here. He's going towards this north-south road. You might use this. You might go past this north-south road and try to... Yep. He's going to try to circle around and get all the way out to the southwest.
Hey, one, a techie just drove right past the hill you were engaging ago, and it's heading south. It's on the west side.
They're trying to squeeze us.
Past around East 7,
Now, there is a militia group down here. The squad lead's down here. The technical is now on the, if you can see my map here, he's on the far west. He's outside of 700, 800 meters away from the bunkers now.
Command, be advised, contacts to the east, pulled back.
And there's a guy here.
Sounds like they're probably flanking
There's Sonny.
north through Neva Lower.
Roger, we're ready for him.
And Sonny's just sitting here. I think Sonny was part of this group, actually.
Yeah, we see him. There's a firing more.
Look at him. He's like, come pick me up, my dudes. He's just by himself.
Squad 1, we have...
He's enjoying this
fire
afternoon.
Well, it's probably a squad
Look at
now.
this sun.
They're going to be coming up from my straight east to northeast.
That's the west, so it's a set. Oh.
Oh yeah, there's more than a squad out there now.
And it looks like this eastern militia force of multiple squads, it's closed to long-range contact, and looks like maybe the Russians are now shooting back on top of the hill.
One position here, BTR, on Fox 780, the hill, Fox 780.
That, there seems to be a couple more IEDs here that still haven't been detonated. There's another IED in the northern compound, and there's one in the southern one that still haven't been detonated yet. Maybe Expit's holding those for a little bit longer. BTR has been called up to support.
Yeah, contacts approximately Gulf 754. Gulf 754.
As 2+ squads of infantry are now shifting northeast of the extract area.
That's kind of where they're at.
Oh, Colton, that sucks, bro. Hope you could stay around for the next round, because this is obviously round 1. We got a second round of action, where we split teams around, and Russia becomes nil, and it becomes Russia. We do it all over again. We'll keep the Russia perspective for round 2, however. And it looks like Russians are just shooting at, oh my. This militia force could get within 200 meters if they keep going in that defilade.
We're engaging contact.
Who's that in the front? That's HML leading the way. And maybe a squad is peeled off to these rocks, but they're skylining, and this is not good. BTR is rolling around. I don't know what it's doing. Just wants some circles.
I'm going down.
Maybe they're gonna get a decent rocket hit on this guy.
Well, leave 3's down over.
We got contact east 081.
This is where you wish Mill had a technical or some other force to distract this BTR, because this BTR is going to close the door pretty hard on this advancing militia force. Looks like they're going to push a AR right here. This is a good position, actually. Take a look. There's a little hill right here. He's got a wall to his north.
Don't get too aggressive. Make them push to us.
Move forward.
Slow down on your ammo.
BTR is just playing a little game of reposition, sidestep. Oh, and there's one guy down on the tree. Chaotic Clyde, who's also a new regular today. It looks like a little bit of confusion here between the gunner and maybe where folks are coming in at. There's that discotheque.
Hit it.
It's way off here to the northeast. What is it shooting? What is it?
This is Squad 3. There was enemy contact to your guys' south, correct?
Correct.
Maybe that was a little bit of a deception play? No, the BTR is now engaging it.
They're to your north. They're to my south and your north.
BTR's hitting it. There goes the gunner. The gunner's driver's trying to ditch it. Pop goes the techie. He got hung up on that rock there.
Techie down.
That's what's.
Very good.
You don't drive over top of rocks with a pickup truck, my dude. You gotta get that shit lifted. You can't. That thing had no lift. It's like we're talking about like standard pickup truck thing, my dudes.
I mean, at this point, it might as well just let them get close. Don't waste ammo on distant shots.
And now militia have lost their single greatest siege asset for this compound. Let's try to take a look at the scoreboard, see if we can find any information for this. It's 19 mil dead. Looks like 10 mil kills to 14 kills for Russia. So it's pretty close still, within a fire team's strength. Of course, militia have no more technicals, and the BTR is still pretty unopposed here for Russia. Matter of fact, here's a guy that could probably hit a shot. This shot is not impossible, but for some reason he's being told to hold, and one of his comrades go down. Militia are just stuck, and look at this. There's a Russia sweep and clear team coming through. Icon returns to the battlefield. He's trailing two of his squad mates, maybe Terrapin and one guy with command comms map bob. They're gonna sneak up behind this element here. They're getting pretty close, within 20 meters.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Might heard contact
the
in the
militia
rocks.
herds them. He hears the rocks. That's Icon down.
Grenade. He's dead. Nade out.
Map Bob throws a grenade.
Icon's dead. Shit on a stick.
Map Bob's by himself.
Axe, if I go in before you, you're in command.
Copy.
Squad 3's wiped over. We ran contacts to on my position, basically.
Roger 3. You had to break contact, head back to the fob. The extract.
Negative, they are right on top of me.
And he's stuck. They're going to do a loop-de-loo around the rocks here. Let's see who finds him. Is it going to be this guy crawling to the top of the hill?
Them, right? We can only have to defend our assets.
Yeah, it's going to be this guy who sees him, I think. Such a weird angle. They're coming from both directions. Plus, there's a guy crawling over there. He's got a pistol out. No, he's got a rifle. Oh, Map Bob might see. Map Bob drops him. But,
and I'm just
going to get behind the rocks.
1-360 security maintained on this.
It'd be funny if that frag fell back towards him, and it doesn't. Map Bob's still up. He's crawling.
Copy.
Two other militia are pretty close, and militia otherwise are doing nothing. What are they doing? Nothing. What are these guys doing? Nothing. Nobody's doing anything.
One, tell your BTR that all the contacts can be to the east.
It's quite the stalemate here. Let's get back up here. Militia.
No, I want you
One guy's watching the back. The other guy's walking around.
Sorry. All right, copy.
Man, Bob is loving life as.
Oh, we got two at least.
As a part
three.
of a. As a part of a rock.
So that means they're becoming effective now.
On. I am.
Yeah, one BTR. They're all over those rocks.
And the BTR, the militia force, looks like this is the remaining militia force. Maybe some pockets elsewhere. This is the consolidated militia force now. We're down to a squad.
Are you still good?
Raj, yes.
Oh, maybe we're not.
Enemy down and gonna
Looks
push
like
up
there's
ahead.
still a squad to the south. They're crossing the wheat fields right now. Let's go check that out.
3, just fall back to me. Fall back to platoon.
Negative. I'd have to cross
Oh,
the field.
they are crawling through the wheat fields? Is this what I'm seeing?
And I'll try that over.
Yes.
I don't want you pushing contact alone.
Uh-oh. Russia, someone on Russia sees them.
Right.
Some pot shots being taken from that wall. Yep, looks like a...
Squad 1, is that contact west?
Wow.
Yes, sir.
I wonder if the militia forces on the east were just waiting for the guys in the south to get in position. And there's still a fire team on the west. Maybe there's more militia than I thought. Oh, and a rocket goes into the compound. Doesn't look like it scores a kill. That light unit gets hit. It shoots a rocket onto the wall. No dice. No chance, no dice. What was I gonna say there? Pop goes the BTR. Looks like a direct shot to the rear. The BTR tried to move a little bit to the south or to the west here.
All right, well, I'm gonna go firm.
And it got shot in the ass at about 150 meters. Look at that shot. That would have been perfect. A square-on shot to the rear end of the BTR.
Rip BTR.
Rip BTR indeed. Now it just became a lot more equal. However, militia still have to attack a fortified Russian position. Of course, you know, you don't just have the walls. You've got the sandbags and the barbed wire to navigate as you're trying to assault this area. And there's so many Russians per square foot up there.
Dude, what's up?
Oh, militia exhausting
We're taking close
a
contact
lot
in the
of
south, but
smokes.
we've engaged. We're picking them off one by one. But they are really, really close. They're
And
outside of the south little bunker.
this is not good. It's not the best. They're getting picked off as they come out of the wheat field here. A squad lead goes down ahead of the formation here. This would be the time for this this eastern element to get a move on. And here we go. We get smokes coming out on the east. Looks like this is the general attack we've been waiting too long for.
We got troops in the orphan crossing the road.
Roger, you guys are clear to engage. Anything you got? Enemy targets moving up.
Militia in the south here had made it to this pillbox. And they have no more mobility. Looks like they don't even have any more utility in the form of those smokes. Oh, and the eastern force leaks through. The eastern force is actually making them run on the ramparts here.
2 and 7, they're gonna be close on my southeast.
This is quite the turnaround.
Yes, blue smoke close on the west.
Real pincer attack here.
We're getting hit hard here, dude. Contact outside our south bunker.
grenade goes over the wall,
Compound. Close.
but it doesn't go that far. And it actually kills himself. He thought he threw it over. It did not happen. Another one dies here for Russia on the wall, but they got plenty of positions inside. Here's bandaging inside the wall. Nuclear potato goes down, crack, and Wolfie returns fire. And, knocks out that guy. Wolfie goes down, looks like to a frag. Frag's coming over. Russia.
This northeast side, southeast side corner of my compound.
There's lobbed grenade. Gets one.
Partisan, get in the other bunker.
If they're in our sight.
Partisan, get in that bunker. Look.
That
Past me.
was a great float there.
Partisan, just go.
This Russian guy
Look at this entrance.
has pushed to the north west side of the compound.
You're wrong comms.
Nope, that was right comms.
Well, he's got a buddy over here on this corner. Oh, if only he could take a peek through that rock, through that crack right there. Of course, this is a scout. I wonder if he's got anything to blow up. He's going to slice the pie here. He may not have enough clearance to shoot Dorf in that bunker. Yeah, I think he might be a little short there. He might be trying to get an eye on I'm not yelling in the corner here.
You want me watching my left?
Someone's trying to jump into.
Probably not.
Looks like we're down to 3 here in this northern bunker. And as the southern Russians seem to have all been wiped out. Almost all been wiped out. Looks like there's one left down here.
Jeez.
You don't have much left.
Yeah.
The northern group of Russians looks like they might have time. Well, might have a chance to take out. Northern militia might have a chance to take out the Russian command.
Yelling. When you're good, take a position in a corner.
Shoot a command, how you doing?
And here we go, the death throes of the game. Look at this guy. He just walked straight through.
How are you doing?
Revy B.
I think there's 3 of us holding this northern compound.
With the, as soon as I push buttons, all my outlines go away. That's great. With the amazing walk in the front door play, Dick Kickham and CPS blind to this amazing play. And for some reason, he decides to shoot on people. He's now in the compound, but Dorf's going to see him as he crosses the line of sight right here. Oh, maybe not. That's I'm not yelling. And I believe that's GG. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 15 Russians remain. Or 13 Russians remain. I can count. We're gonna roll on to round 2 here shortly. We're gonna flip everything around, and we will be back shortly with round 2.
All right, gents, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out to SOTT Basic. I'm your instructor today. It's Hammering Hutch. You guys can simply just call me Hutch. When we're suppressing an enemy target, the whole intent of that is to keep their heads down so an adjacent unit can maneuver onto them. All right, and during this process, we have a thing that happens automatically and organically within each, either whether it be buddy team or fire team, is there's no lull in the gunfire, thus talking guns. Open fire. Contact front. Alpha, bound. He sees me. I'm down. Bravo, bound. I'm up. He sees me. I'm down. Alright, Bravo set. Alpha up. He sees me. I'm down. You're now in what is known as a file. You're now in what is known as a staggered column, and usually used when moving from one location to another where contact is imminent. Those are your basic formations that we utilize in squad ops. The SOTT Advanced Weapons Systems course was created to ensure Squad Ops participants share the same knowledge and understanding of the use and applications of mission-specific weapons and the basic tactics involved in their deployment. The Automatic Rifleman. The Automatic Rifleman is the foundation of a fire team and/or squad. The job of the Automatic Rifleman is to deliver a high volume of prolonged, effective suppressing fire on enemy positions to allow the maneuver of friendly units during offensive operations and the repelling of enemy attacks in defensive operations. The Grenadier, a key member of the fire team and squad. The Grenadier is first and foremost a rifleman who is capable of delivering accurate fire of both high explosive and smoke rounds on point and area targets at varying distances. One of the other added benefits of the Grenadier is to engage dead space, which is essentially an area that cannot be hit by direct fires. The Light Anti-Tank Gunner. Soldiers carrying light anti-tank weapons are, just as Grenadiers, riflemen first. They are the ideal infantry-based counter to both lightly armored and thin-skinned vehicles. At short, medium, and far distances, the rockets fired are a viable weapon against groups of infantry as well. The SOTT Advanced Weapons Systems course, although not a requirement, is highly encouraged for Squad Ops participants to join to expand their knowledge of how to utilize the tools that are given to us within Squad.
Once the BTR has got a good cover position. Probably set up somewhere in the hills here, you know, so I can fire down.
Welcome back. We are entering round 2 of our Squad Ops 1 Life operation session thing. You know, that sounded better in my head before I said it. Round 2 of Operation Fishhook. We are swap teams, as is the tradition. And XBit will give his platoon a shot at attacking, rescuing their counterintelligence team as Russia this time around. And Dorf will give the interdiction role a chance for militia with his platoon. We're going to follow Russia into the shoreline just like last time. And then once they get there, we're going to try to actually break off and follow the rescuees.
Squad Force Command.
Alright.
Rescuees, right? Yeah, because rescuers would be Russians in the main platoon formation.
Mark in Juliet 10, that is the rendezvous point.
Looks like they're going to do something new. They're going to do some platoon briefs, or maybe they're checking for weapons right now, actually.
The southern bridges, secure the east side of the bridges,
Yep.
and then we'll send out a fire team.
This is one of the things we've been doing since the update came out.
Most of the BTR and
Of course, we've also been developing our Moderino.
So wherever you pick, you got a long walk to go.
We got a special cool mod. It's being developed primarily by, or in large part, by a guy called Best Pony. And he does crazy things. If you were around last night, you saw some crazy things and some things that aren't ready for widespread public consumption. And I heard some of those things were awesome. And I'm being told that I am derp and don't know anything about what I'm talking about. Matter of fact, XF and the D, also some pretty big names that help work on our mod, not to mention the modding support that comes into Squad. It's a pretty tight-knit community that helps each other out. And speaking of tight-knit communities, and wow, look at that guy jumping on people before live. I don't know why you do it.
I found the right MG.
Anyway,
I'm gonna show you it.
looks like Russia are getting set up here. We don't have a live time yet. Speaking of cool things in Squad happening, if you don't have Squad and you've been watching these streams and these videos as a way to sort of, oh man, this would be cool to play, maybe one day I will. Just around the corner, there's this thing called a free weekend. The Squad devs at OWI have just announced this. It'll run from the 21st to the 24th. So it's a Thursday through Sunday. Looks like it starts the 21st at 10 a.m. Pacific. So that's like what, 1900 UTC? I don't know. I don't know why we have time zones. Let's just all use UTC and get over it. Come on. Daylight savings time, whatever. Just give me UTC, please. Anyway. It'll run through the 24th at 1 p.m. Pacific. And if you want to buy the game during that time, if you think it's really cool and you want to play it, there's a 40% discount sale happening on Squad, which drops the price considerably. Makes it worthwhile, I think. It's already worthwhile. It's a lot of fun. And the modes that are adding to the game are just going to increase the value of the game. Plus, you get to, play in cool communities like ours. So what you should do, if you want to get into the game and you want to get into Squad Ops as a community, when this free weekend thing happens, or even before, you can sign up on the website and link your Steam account, get into our Discord, get hooked in there, because you're going to need it for one thing. And it's the best way to get on top of information that happens, join in on the community meetings that happen every month, and get to know the community as a whole. Goof around and off topic. Post memes and stuff in there, except for don't post memes. But, you know, it's whatever. You do what you want to do. And then when the free weekend comes out, just make some time and just play the game. And play on our servers because they're always full. Like, pretty much always full. And we've got 3 of them. We got, and the cool thing is when you sign up on a website and you play on our servers, you spend a lot less time in this thing called the queue because we have a whitelist enabled on our server. All 3 of our servers. And when you sign up on our website and link your Steam ID and you give it a little bit of time for the server to do its thing, although it should be pretty instantaneous, you can like jump the queue so you don't have to wait as long as you might, you know, as some other people might. Just another incentive to check us out on the Discord and link your account through and show some interest in potentially joining Squad Ops as a community. So the free weekend comes through, you decide to buy the game, you think it's pretty sweet, you want to take the next step into Squad Ops. What do? You look at the calendar. Let's see, later in the month, maybe pretty sparse at that point, because usually we update our calendar like at the beginning of every month, or nearabouts there. But keep looking, keep bugging people on the SOT team, or our SOTT team.
Yeah, copy that.
Bug them in Discord and ask them, hey, when's the next basic happening?
Yeah, watch out.
And sign up for what we call basic SOTT. We got a live time of 1:45, so a couple minutes to explain this to you. Sign up for basic SOTT. And that's, of course, it takes about maybe an hour, hour and a half. But what it does is it throws you into a group with everyone else that's taking SOTT, and our trainers walk you through sort of what we expect players to be able to do organizationally in a Squad Ops One Life operation. This is not how to play the game, but it is how to, you know, it's things like the ABCs for callouts, for making contact reports. Things like a file in a line and a staggered column. Things like moving in bounding pairs, or bounding as fire teams, or bounding as squads, and sort of the very basic how to approach tactical situations as a rifleman in a Squad Op operation. You take that course, you can sign up for anything on the calendar. Well, you can sign up for 99% of everything on the calendar at that point.
What's so funny?
I was just wanting to make sure rules of engagement for BTR squad is fire at will.
Yep, fire at everything that moves.
XBit gives the BTR its marching orders here. Fire at everything that moves.
30-second lap.
What a great command. We'll see how effective that is. We got about a half a minute before we go live here. Operation Face. So let's take a look at the map real quick. Just a reminder, we're going to be starting off the northwest side. We're going to be off the map. But generally, we'll be moving southeast probably towards a little bit south of where the Russian extract location is in, because we're moving off the edge of the map. We'll probably move into that sort of area, so south of that red dot. And those yellow bridges, once again, those are the only bridges that either team can cross in this operation. As we go live here, the engines turn on, the transport trucks and the BTR moves out in front of the column, and they're going to roll along the road. Now, those yellow bridges on the map, those are the only bridges that they can cross. We know from mobility restrictions in the operation that militia cannot cross west until Russia crosses east. And by that I mean across the river from west to east. The folks they're going to have to rescue are in the southeast corner of the map of that red blob. They start anywhere there, and they have to move themselves into a place where they can get rescued. Okay, here's a split. The transport trucks are moving off the road straight through the wheat field here, and the BTR is going to move along the road a little bit, and then it turns. See, I keep thinking that's a major deviation, and it's not really. It's just, oh, look, I forgot to drive, and I can't read a map. But it doesn't always have to be something like that. Here's the railroad track. This railroad track leads all the way to the upper train bridge. The transports are now in front of the group.
Command is 1.
Matter of fact, the BTR is not part of the column anymore. It's hanging out.
We flipped the BTR.
Oh. Okay, we have to see this. There's been a report of a traffic accident.
Trans back over.
Tell me what? Oh wait. Magic has occurred.
Wait.
It's magic. At one point, the wheels of the BTR were on top,
We get some mounts up.
and then through the power, through the sheer willpower of the Russian platoon, that group of soldiers have simultaneously willed the BTR to turn onto its proper orientation. Magic has occurred. Yes,
Southeast from my location.
Marilatus.
Copy that.
It's things. This is magic. This is an early access game. Magic happens. Okay, we can't explain it.
Proper.
You can't explain it. There's no science here. It's called magic.
Profile. Let's not give up that we're all here.
All right. Russians have made it to the rocks overlooking the bridges. Meanwhile, look at this guy. Looks like he was maybe a scout. Looks like he was maybe trying to put down something here.
4. It looks like there's that.
He's not going to live long.
May not want to head any further west.
Watch out.
Or maybe he will. The Russians don't see him? No.
Yeah, they're definitely in Soloniki. I've got
Wow. I'm not yelling is about 20 times luckier than I am on any given operation. That's insane. So there's a fire team watching the train bridge. There is some distant movement here.
To our north.
Yeah, looks like we've got one fire team watching the northern bridge. And militia have hot-footed directly into Soloniki. This is Soloniki village.
Go for it.
It is farmland. It be an honest home for honest
Change
people.
the plans. BTR, get in position. Start suppressing. Squad 3, get ready to bound.
We have a problem.
I got as a contact to my direct east 120 across the river.
The counter intel team has been spotted. They are being engaged.
Squad 1, let's get that TR up. We need to start suppressing.
We have fatalities.
Got that. Working on it right
Multiple KIA. Looks like we're down to one.
Go for it.
Yeah, contacts to our north.
We are down to one. It's Mr. Hughesy. And there is a fire team. Wow, this is tremendous. A fire team's worth of militia have spotted this guy out. Kenneth, Frederick, and Silas have this whole area locked down.
I'm in a bush.
Hughesy ain't gonna last. This guy's running straight up though. Oh, he's playing dead.
Squad 1, 3, and 2.
This is the traditional play dead form. What you do is you take your gun out or whatever, and you look straight down, and you don't move. And magically, everyone runs past you, just like that guy did. He ran within like 2 meters of Fusey. And look at him, Dishkas.
Squad 4 command. Yeah, there's bigs around me. I heard people pass me. I'm in the bush.
I don't know if you can hear Fusey right there, but the giddiness in his voice as he reports Dishkas around him. Oh, someone's moving. Ran right past him again. That was Kenneth.
Squad 3, second air team bound.
Looks like the Russians are moving across the river. Yeah, they're moving across the river by fire teams, which is a pretty cautious play. Obviously, it's cautious because it sort of lets you know what XBit is thinking.
Squad 3, once you're over
Bounding
there,
by fire team is slow.
Solid copy.
It's faster than it could be with other things, but it's slow. And now they're taking contact.
Go for.
I'm gonna stay in my bush for a little bit. I think there might be still around me. I
I
haven't
think
heard anyone.
Fusey's pants are now a different color.
Alright, copy 4. Just hold your position. Let us know if you're going to move someplace.
I'm not yelling, it's tagged right there.
Roger.
As a squad's worth of infantry have now pushed over across the bridge.
Alright, Squad 1, go ahead and start moving a fire team across the bridge.
And here comes another fire team. Looks like the BTR disembarked some troops. And there's BTR too.
Command, did you mean Squad 2?
Squad 1, Squad 2, let's start moving across the bridge.
XBit has
Copy
ordered
that.
the general advance of Russian forces. And XBit is crossing the bridge himself. Let's take a look at this specimen. Let's take a look at this guy.
Squad 4 command.
Is everyone still up? Command, you still up?
No casualties.
Okay.
It sounds like there's a tech in near my location.
Copy 4.
IEDs happen.
Spread out.
Wow. That first one could have really ripped up that whole squad that was sitting there right at the mouth of the bridge. And XBit dodges death by about being, 5 seconds too slow to catch up to that IED. And it looks like they blew up the second IED a little bit early to really have any casualties. So 0 KIA, 0 casualties inflicted by that
Command, this is 1.
by that explosive. And
contact.
the
163,
scout,
landmine on the hill.
BDR as well.
the scout in charge of one of those IEDs
Go
has
ahead
been
right now,
spotted.
move across.
He moves down across the sort of top of the hill there. Oh, the holy spam looked weird for a second. It looked like he was dabbing. We don't need that. We don't need that in squad right now. Although I would love it. Some people would disagree wholeheartedly. Let's go check up on our VIPs real quick as Russia crosses the river. You can see the Dishkatekis are moving away. They're moving towards Soliniki. One of them runs into the wall. You can't run into stone walls with a truck and expect to go through.
Squad 3, I want you to hold your position. I want you to hold the line to the south.
The technicals, they out of here. Gonna cross that stream right there.
Just hold your position. I want you to hold the line to the south.
And look at Husey. Husey, still a person in this game.
Squad 1's command.
You know, sometimes I want to be able to talk to HVTs. I want to go in there and I want to talk to them.
Go ahead, command, if that was for me.
We have to. We can't intervene like that. It would be wrong.
We're gonna let 2 clear off to the east.
It would be an abuse of power.
And then we're gonna move the BTR.
We can't use magic like that all the time.
And then south and then west to pick up the CIT.
We can't use magic like that all the time. Because you can doesn't mean you should. And oh, now look at this. The entire Russian platoon rescue force. It's like 3+ squads worth of folks. Are now pushing the hills northeast or northwest of Soloniki, or directly north of Soloniki. Looks like some light contact here. They're still trying to kill that scout.
Command, I need you to blast.
There's a fire team.
Squad 1, you're gonna hold your position.
That has crossed the radio bridge,
once they're clear,
and they found a little perch on this hill.
Take your BTR with yourself.
Who is this? This is Shughart.
You're gonna go far
With
east, far south.
Shughart was in charge of the vehicles for Russia last round. Shughart has maneuvered some folks behind, and if only he had actually, you know, if he found some targets to shoot with, he could get some damage. However, he can't just charge across the water. He's got to use the bridge. So maybe if he had an optic on one of those ARs, he could probably engage from here. But he doesn't, so he shouldn't. He should cross this bridge and step right in behind, because Russia have no security for holding the bridge. Although,
they might be crossing north.
Yeah, Expert calls it out in command comms for the Russian forces, calls out a request for rear security being kept. However, rear security in squad ops operations sometimes leaves much to be desired. You know, players want to be on attack. They want to be moving and moving.
That is to our northwest across the river.
They want to be moving.
Where the BTR used to be. One-time squad lead.
And it looks like Expedus called out Shughart over there. Stormfronts could be looking for him, and the BTR is probably going to be putting some rounds on target here very shortly. Or not. Expedus just going to do it himself. And that squad is displacing.
Take it to myself.
I think Expert will probably see one of these guys skyline.
There's contact 323. 3, you left our west side way open.
Right, that
fire team on the west side of the road.
sun is pretty nasty on our eyes.
Yeah, I can't see shit on that.
HML may be responsible for this gaping hole in Russians' defense right now.
I'm looking for him again. Yep. Okay, so directly northwest.
Stormfront's got eyes on him.
Yeah, I see him. There's like 4 or 5 full squad northwest.
Baron,
316.
full squad. Fire on him, fire on him, fire on him.
316.
BTR's going to throw some coax out there.
We switch to 50.
Wants to reach out and touch him.
Holden.
Don't see him anymore.
So avoid strength.
Like you can rent it by the BTR coming up here in a few minutes. Done engaging this squad to our north.
That's just a fire team, by the way.
Copy of that too. 2, watch your north side because that squad made it over already to our northwest.
Let's get a little reset on positions here.
Man, this is 1.
Ooh, radio bridge is mine.
Go ahead, 1.
Do you want me to begin my swing?
There's a squad
Yeah, copy that 1. Go ahead and
plus.
break. Let's leave security on that bridge.
Looks like there's a squad plus in Soloniki.
Watching it or something.
Copy that. I'm gonna leave one of my fire teams.
There's a squad north of it, and there's a squad south of it, probably holding security with that trans truck. Meanwhile, the squads in Soloniki are looking for building-to-building combat, which would favor an attacking force here. Right up until the point you throw the BTR down a village road, it decides to perforate some
What I want you to do is
buildings.
send a fire team to your southwest. You and 3 are going to engage Soloniki with fire team each to make them think that they got the CIT and that we're engaging them. We're not going to engage to kill, just distraction for now.
Here's a distraction force.
I also need you to make sure our
Moving
north side along the
from
road
village
tracks
to
is good.
village. Expert is sort of ordering a general attack in direction of Soloniki, but he wants to try to be sneaky about it. And of course, Husey is still alive. And there's a direction. This squad right here, led by who's in charge of these folks? Payne. Payne could lead a fire team straight south.
Command 2.
And save
They have
Husey.
reoccupied the same rocks they were on last round. Across the river.
Can you give me a grid?
Expert wants a grid.
Golf 822.
Copy that. Golf 822. Yep, that's where we were seeing the context before.
Yeah, they're still up there. I can see one right now. Kind of at least 2 to 3 on a giant rock.
Payne sees these guys from here. What? Yeah, I mean, 2 to 1. That's, let's see. This is probably like 350 meters from here to here. 700. Maybe it ends up being like 800 meters. Mark 1 eyeball into Mark 2 freaking binoc.
Command, this is Squad 1.
It's a pretty good spot. Of course, they're asking for it. They're just skylining up there.
Command, were we going to go back across the train bridge
I mean,
and lower
look at
bridge
them.
like we did before,
They're not
or
really.
we're going to use the other one?
And also,
No,
I
we're
guess
gonna use
render
the one across.
distance.
This is already cleared.
I mean,
Copy that.
maybe that's the cause of the problem. I don't know. It's whatever. BTR is shooting on those rocks again.
Go to.
We're watching the bridge we cross. You want me to take my other fire team to the northern bridge and check it out?
There's a
Command,
ooh,
I'm sending a
the
buddy team across the
BTR.
train bridge.
The BTR is being followed by something called a transport truck. Oh, the transport truck is turning down the road. It's gonna pass. Oh man, you know, if Payne
Dude, I might have
actually,
you actually sweep across that northern bridge. if
maybe.
it's clear. After you clear it for mine, so.
Oh, Payne is attacking north. No, he could have rocket. That could have been a squad of infantry dead if he left his lat unit right there at the Heska wall. But here comes militia transport. They're going to drive straight on down towards Soloniki. There's still a chance this fire team here is pushing Soloniki through this field of something or other. No, they're not going to be looking behind. And I don't think there's a squad lead here either. So it's And I think the transport has now gone off-road. Yes, it has. So it's linking up with squads 2 and 3 from militia, which are way south of Soloniki. As Russia continues to posture and continues to maneuver to drop the net on northern Soloniki here.
Command, this is Squad 1. We have rendezvoused with Squad 4.
Copy. Let's hit the same route.
And as you heard, Stormfront calls
Squad
in.
2, go ahead and pull your fire team back
The
north.
rescue has occurred.
Roger.
And now Russia are falling back.
Yeah, you can keep on your Oscar Mikes. Go to that north bridge. Bring the other fire team.
All
with
the
us,
Russians
so
are falling
we cross
back.
over and got some support. There's contact still up in Gulf 8.
We're going to follow the BTR here for a sec as the Russian forces fall back towards the train bridge. This guy's taken quite the eastern detour here. He's all the way out towards Cement Yard. He's not on the road. I'm assuming the idea is that roads are mine because, duh, why would you drive on the road, right? But once you go off the road, there's, you know, you have like 360. Oh, they almost flipped the BTR again. They have like 365 like different directions. 360 different directions, my dudes. You can go anywhere. You can't mine all that.
Yeah, go squad 1.
There's
I was
no
getting
way.
reports from my guys that there's
No
still
way you can
guys
mine all
on
that.
position.
Yeah, there's very quickly. Squad 1, what's your view? Is
Now these guys are taking the road Cement Yard to the west. Oh, they're going to take the north road. This could be bad. As you may or may not recall, there are some things called mines. Oh my, let's get over to the bridge. There's no militia forces anywhere near there. That squad is still on the other side. We may have some contact over around the train bridge very soon.
Alright, Squad 3 and what remains of Squad 2
However,
and Squad 1. Remind your guys down here
Radio Bridge, there's an element for Russia moving towards this beach, towards the bridgehead here. But the mine, let's see if we can find what we have laid down here. Oh my, is in the shadows. It's going to be hard to see. Let's see if we can do a little peek here.
Command, this is 1. I am currently going to get dropped off at radio tower, and I'm having my alpha team pull back to Squad 3's location.
1, 2, hold the BTR short. Don't make any noise over here yet until I get the
Alright, so there's one apparently on me.
Say again,
Oh, the BTR's here.
Pull the BTR back. You're making noise. They're going to look over here and shoot my guys as we clear the bridge.
The BTR is moving close. Oh, there's the mine. I think this is mine. Maybe it's not. Even if these are just IEDs,
Sorry about that.
that could be bad news.
It's all good.
They're getting pretty close.
Driver. I have to yell at him often.
There's a mine on the right side, and there's a mine over here on the left, off the road pretty far. They don't see anything yet. They're looking for mines. Shukart is standing pretty practically right on top of one. But I don't think any militia folks are looking at this bridge. They have no idea. Maybe the scout has already died, which means these explosives are going to be, you know, left there. I don't know what the BTR is doing. It's leaving? Bye! At this point, all the Russian infantry are clear.
Bring the BTR to the railroad tracks and see if you can't get eyes onto that contact just south of
Alright, the BTR is being sent to the railroad
Copy
tracks.
that. I'll let him know.
Let's follow Daruba here. who is, I think, gunning the BTR.
That's the tracks you're storing on. I forget now. This track, right? We're gonna want fucking elevation.
Still pretty limited contact here. Only 4 kills for militia compared to 2 kills for Russia.
Command, this is Squad 3.
Go 3.
I'm not seeing any contact on the north
Oop,
side of the
we have shots.
Cheers.
The Dishka?
Bridge north is clear. Bridge north is clear.
Copy that. Squad 1, tell the remainder of your fire
Yeah,
team
the
to
Dishka's here.
the BTR and shuttle them north.
Copy that.
Squad 2, tell your fire team that's also in the south to break contact and move to the BTR and come on up.
Dishka gunner reloading. This is what I call a bad allocation of resources. If you have a special kit, you do not become the pilot or the gunner for any vehicle, period. Why would you waste having a rocket out? Why would you waste a rocket
Squad 3,
instead of the turret of a gun? Even if it's something especially like this and he drops one.
Yeah, we're engaging
So, worth question mark? Well, I don't think so. Smoke's going out here on the rush position as they've been flanked out here to their east.
Directly to my south.
Here we go. Contact begins. Like half an hour after the operation has started.
To your south, too.
We're getting close to 11 o'clock here, Eastern time.
Near the bunker?
Kind of.
Roger, we're gonna push that way.
This operation is a classic. Maybe takes a long time to spin up, but boy, will the action become a lot more complicated as we go here and out.
Expert, you still up?
Oh, maybe Expit's
Negative,
dead.
command just went down, is what I'm getting reported.
That's Expit.
Payne,
So Matt Bob, probably most likely responsible for Expit's death there.
Probably about 300 meters out to your south, 195. Alright guys, I need
These guys are just taking pot shots.
and pull back to the BTR. Everyone just pull back to the BTR. Payne, I just want you to get up a 360 security on your side of the bridge. Don't push them.
3 is attacking the south of here. And the BTR is being shot at. Well, I thought it was. These guys hear the BTR. That's a rocket guy right there. He's got frag loaded. Here he goes. He's making a jump to another rock. Let's see what he does with this rock. Oh! He offers one up onto the rock, and it does kill. And now these guys are stuck between 2 rocks and a hill with nowhere to go. HML runs over the roof, or the top of the hill, and gets one, but comes traded.
I'm having the BTR push to your guys' position. He's gonna pick you up. Just
Oh,
you guys
HML's still up. I thought there was a trade there. He dove really quick. One more. He's throwing a grenade over. Let's see if we can see him. Nope, too far. And he goes down to the beach. BTR has these guys.
Contact down.
Hey, 267, 267, 267. He's in the tree now.
He's able to crawl into some defilade, but not long for this world. And we hear the cries of another militiaman. his ticket to ride has expired.
Yo, bump.
I'm just sprinting
North,
for
north.
Everybody is pulling back
Contacts
to
are
the
directly
BTR
in
now.
between us and the BTRs. Pretty difficult.
Let's take a little update here, y'all. 8 kills for militia now, 7 kills for Russia, so still pretty close. Russia may have a little bit of an advantage numbers-wise, but I think it's still pretty close here. Russia falling back to the BTR with no rockets around for militia. BTR is pretty safe here. And militia is still in a pretty defensive posture. They only have the one group that is at Train Bridge. Now, there's a Russian group that's cleared Radio Bridge, and they are set up on the west side of the river. There's a... oh no, don't say. This militia group that was holding security at the lower train bridge is now crossing to the east. And so Russia could retreat to their exfil in a completely different direction from where they attack from, which would be smart.
Whoever's 4 guys those are, get them to start moving towards us.
Well, that was some quality commentary or commanding there. Hey, we're 4 guys, them's are. I mean, not that I could say it any better myself, but we got some people giving up here, realizing their time is over. 4 Russians are running away towards the BTR. Fulcrum leading this element, I believe. Got an AR, a couple of riflemen,
here's the plan.
a couple ARs.
I want spacing. Okay.
So we're going to have
Fulcrum wants spacing. If you don't give it to Fulcrum, you're just being mean.
and move up to the north of the bunkers. Try and shoot for F7, 87. Take whatever routes you need to, and get on that side of the bunkers.
Now, there are still some potential mines or IEDs placed here at the radio bridge. If this thing hits a mine, that would be really bad.
So,
yeah, that intersection was sketchy for the vehicle.
It's holding off the road here, but it's gotta come back on the road eventually, you think. Because while doing this for cruising along most part, as the BTR looks like it almost flips again, this one thing. You'll want to be on the road next in front of the bridge. Because you've already cleared that. Here we go. Moment of truth. Will a mine be the MVP for militia? Let's call it pretty fast here. The BTR rolls up on the eastern road. We're on the northeast direction. It's rolling towards the bridge. It passes the railroad track. It skims along the railroad tracks. It turns back on the road. It turns right off right side of the road, off the northern direction. It's crossing. Ooh, this is where one of the mines could have been. It passes through.
And try and secure it before we get there.
And they're asking now for mines.
Alpha, get out. Alpha, get out. We're gonna do a quick
Oh, it was so close. One of the explosion icons is around here. It's probably in the base of this tree. The other one is probably in the base of that tree. And for some reason, they are checking the bridge for mines. Of course, you can't put mines on bridges per the rules.
Mount. Let's go. I don't want to stay on the bridge.
They add more security, though.
Are they getting it? Mount.
Squad 3,
Go. He's going. Just drive. Hey,
Go ahead, Squad 3.
A little bit of miscommunication here.
on the west side of the river before. It's possible that those contacts have moved onto the bunker proper.
Copy that. I am aware. I'm going to have my squad moving with you.
BTR is pretty much home free now. I don't see any mines on the west side of the river here. Oh, the Dishkas are now moved across Train Bridge, and militia now know the jig is up. They are beginning to move. transport still in the rear, but 2 technicals are now crossing lower train bridge, and an infantry squad is pushed up onto the rocks where the BTR was firing on. The rocks that overlook train bridge.
Alright, get out of the BTR.
The order looks like there's a general dismount order for the BTR. They're going to push in on like infantry like this. They've got about, looks like another 700, 800 meters to go from their current position. However, there's a squad, looks like there's a squad within 215 meters of contact right now. This will be the militia squad 1 that is shifting north along this ridgeline here.
This is squad 1.
And there's a infantry squad that was dismounted by the BTR. They're pushing up that same hill. And it looks like militia are looking
we're just going to
for
move
some
up
contact
behind
here.
you guys.
Binocs being used. And this could be a pretty rough trap that that Russia runs into right here. Once again, Russia's red.
Alright, maintain
Militia's
360
blue.
security and don't group up too much.
Hey,
Maintain
Heated
aggression.
Gaming. This is not the pub server. This is our One Life event that's happening tonight. We're playing Operation Fishhook as some pot shots being taken. The Russians that were on the rock over there may have seen a couple of militia that were standing up. Still a bunch of maneuvering going on. Russia have a pretty clear straight shot to the objective. Oh, but look at this. Oh, I left too fast. There was a rocket. Looks like no one died. We're going to go with that. The Dishkas have set up here. 2 of the Dishkas have set up on the objective. This is the compound that Russia has to push back to with their... Oh my gosh. Why? 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 Look at that sick jump. Looks like it jumped about 5 meters in the air there. Maybe a little bit less. 2 meters in the air there.
Hook right now, and we're gonna push up there.
Let's see.
Repeat.
Hook right.
Looks like the command element for the team is in this field, or there's a little gully right here where the train tracks run through. So that's a pretty good miss for them. BTR is going to move through, try to perch itself on a hill here.
Alright guys, maintain your battle edge. Oh, it's a little bit of a lull, but don't let it get killed.
A rocket attempting to nail the BTR. It's pretty close though. Was within about 10 meters.
Forward?
Yep.
It's pretty good.
Next hill, next hill.
Pretty good shot from about 150 meters out. BTR is pushing up now.
Holding.
They've killed the gunner of the dish techie, and the techie explodes. So the use for the dish techie there was as a silly emplacement. Standard rocket. BTR still doing some work. Let's take a look at the map here. This push is getting pretty hot. There is 2 squads, looks like, of Russia pushing in here. The other squad hasn't quite linked up to the north. And militia still have a grenade range. Looks like that was Stormfront. They could take the southern crucible here.
They see us from north.
And looks like militia are going to give it to the Russian. This is not good. This is not how you want to start your defense on the point here.
Is that taking?
She can take you on the north side.
North side.
Random.
Is this
Keep going, aggression. Go.
This area.
Welcome.
Yep. It's cleared.
Hamdo, you alive? Hamdo.
Welcome.
Compound clear.
I'm still here.
The blind frag into a friendly held position. It's never a good idea. It makes me sad. Cool story. The BTR's dead.
Digging down.
Ripping pepperonis. Let's see if we can figure out where that shot came from. Oh, point blank. Within 30 meters. And now we got some IDs going off about 2 minutes too late. Russia pretty much owns. There's one guy left here.
In the southern bunker.
It's guard. Oh, that's gonna get that guy. He's gone. He's active.
Force for contact south as well.
There's some on the west as well.
A little bit of cover here. Husey is the one that's alive.
No.
Of course, with the recruit kit, he gets how many magazines of ammo? A two.
Are you there? Hey.
Sounds like a grenade. Ooh.
Who's calling out there?
What? What did he just do? He threw a grenade and he missed the throw, and it bounced back, and it killed himself.
Someone died.
Like, he was right here, so he must have thrown the grenade. He must have right-clicked it, didn't aim up high enough. Oh, Thurman sees. Thurman's going to drop this guy. He sees a barrel. He's called it out. Goodbye. Now, we could be getting pretty close to GG here. I don't know how many militias are left. Here's two. Running through all the smokes to try to get the pillbox. There's three here. Nuclear Potato, along with Lawn Darts and Partisan. Partisan goes down. He gets dinged from a guy coming outside the area. Lawn Darts with the hero grenade throw. Not quite far enough, but no, it does.
That went inside.
It killed Thurman. What a throw! It bounced off the wall and it rolled along. Sonny blind. Lawn Darts gets dropped, and I think Sonny just took out the last guy actually. We'll know here in a second if that was GG. May or may not have been. Oh no, looks like we still maybe a couple guys left.
Sunny and push bunker.
Copy,
There's this guy named Kennett right here.
East.
Kennett giving his position away. Drop start milkshake. That's another AR down. Nice guy running around in his flank. Now he's gonna corner behind the worst cover ever. Fulcrum charging. Oh no, that's not good. Kennett's grenade. Too far for Kurt Fulcrum. Drops nice guy. Fulcrum coming up behind him. Couldn't take the chance of the night kill, and that's GG. Russia win with a pretty commanding retake in a way that was not really
GG.
well defended there by a militia on the second round there.
Love when you get a kill and you know.
We did. We won.
That concludes our broadcast for the evening.
I
Thank
had a
you
lot of fun.
so much for tuning in. The Squad Freak Weekend is coming up in a couple weeks. More details about that on Squad's official website. But you want to check out ours too. Check out squadops.gg, where you can sign up for our Discord and talk to people that, you know, do things like run the event. The admins that are running the event, Peach and Hero tonight. Atomic Peach and Hero. I've run events from time to time too. I'm pretty cool like that. There's a few of us that are really cool like that, and we run these events. We make sure all the rules. We try to make sure everyone follows the rules. It's stuff like that. Well, it got quiet all of a sudden. Now that my map is no longer in a firefight, feels like I'm doing NPR now. Now, and I can't think of a joke. Can't think of a good joke right here aside from that. But anyway, the operation was pretty fun to watch. If you want to see more like that, squadops.gg. You can follow us on YouTube and Twitch. Links are on our website for that. We also got a Twitter account, so you can yell at us on there or whatever you like to do on there. Tweet us, but be nice. You want to get onto our Discord because that's where all the cool conversation takes place, where you can be a part of the community. Once you take basic SOTT, you can take any of the operations that you see on our calendar. And boy, there's some fun ones coming up soon. Please do consider joining us and having some fun. Until then, I've been B-Car, assisted by Barton. Barton, our rear end, let's say, production guy. He's producing everything. Some of the multicam footage you've seen, and along with the entire stream, all the graphics and stuff. That is Barton. Leave a shout out Barton in the chat. Anyway, thank you for listening. We'll have an operation next Wednesday. And until then, take care.